welcome to week 2 of A Day at the Museum. Have you guys ever been on a trip where your leader or your parent is telling you to shh and listen? That you're talking and you're not listening to the incredible things that are being said all around you? Or maybe you're at home and you're playing games and someone tells you it's time for dinner and you don't listen. What happens then? See, boys and girls, we can learn and do a lot of good things if we just listen. So that's what we're talking about this week. We can hear God's voice if we just listen. Now, He may not be talking to us like this, but He may be talking to us through our parents, our leaders, our teachers, our friends in the most incredible ways that you can't even imagine. So this week, we're going to be hearing God's voice through the stories of His words. So boys and girls, I don't want to reveal anything just yet. I want to pray, and I'll have you guys just perk up your listening ears and get ready for an incredible story. Okay? Okay, bow your heads and close your eyes. God, thank you for being our leader. Thank you for giving us truth and kindness in all of your words. God, we love you. Thank you so much for being just so incredible, who teach us something new each and every day. We love you and we thank you. In your name, amen. Are you guys ready to listen to the story? Let's go!
This is the woolly mammoth. Woolly mammoths are extinct relatives of today's elephants.
We can't hear you!
They lived in the last ice age.
Oh, sorry. Hi, friends. Sorry about that. Remember my visit to the museum that I told you about?
Yeah.
Well, we had a really cool person named Linda with us. She was our tour guide. A tour guide is someone who shows you around and tells you really cool things about what you see. The problem was, Linda spoke really quiet, and I couldn't hear what she was saying.
Huh?
So, my dad suggested I go to the museum website and listen there. I had it on full blast, so that I won't miss anything. Speaking of full blast, this is the woolly mammoth. It was one of my favorite things we saw at the museum. They lived a long, long time ago. Can you imagine what they sounded like? Let's try and make woolly mammoth sounds. Woolly mammoths aren't around anymore, so we can't actually hear them, though it's fun to imagine. I wonder what we'll hear in today's Bible story.
It's time for today's Bible story. John was doing the job that God had sent him to do. He was baptizing people in the river and getting them ready to see Jesus. And then one day, Jesus was there at the river. He had come to be baptized too. John couldn't believe it. Jesus was God's son. He didn't do anything wrong ever. Why did he need to be baptized? But Jesus said that it had to be done. So, John baptized Jesus. He put him under the water and brought him back up. When he did this, the sky opened. God's Spirit came down as a kind of bird called a dove. And then God spoke. God said that Jesus was God's son, who God loved, and that Jesus made God very happy. John had been telling everyone the very same thing about Jesus, but now they heard it from God's very own voice, because we can hear God's voice if we listen.
Whales are mammals just like us. They breathe air just like we do, but they breathe through blowholes on the top of their heads.
Wow! I missed so much by not being able to hear Linda the tour guide at the museum. I'm really glad I had a different way of hearing all about the cool things I saw there. That made me think about the different ways that God speaks to us. In the Bible story today, people got to hear God's own voice. But God also spoke through John to get people ready for Jesus. What if God is talking to us all the time in different ways? Maybe we can hear God in nature through things like trees, sunsets, and even the sound of rain. Maybe we can hear God in the voices of our parents or friends. We just have to listen. We can hear God's voice if we listen. Maybe God can even speak in the voice of a woolly mammoth. Okay, maybe not. Either way, it's still fun to practice our woolly mammoth voice. Well, I'll talk to you all next time. What will you do to listen for God's voice this week? Remember, we can hear God's voice if we listen. Bye!
Man, isn't that an incredible reminder that we can hear God's voice if we listen? You know, I don't know about you, but sometimes I love to talk, and sometimes I do forget to listen. And man, listening is an important part of our relationship with Jesus and our relationship with God, because if we don't listen, we will miss out on some incredible things that God has for us. You know, not only does God speak to us, but He speaks to our parents and our pastors and our leaders, our teachers, because He has put those people in our lives so that we can learn and listen from them as well. You know, I love the story of how Jesus was baptized, because it talks about, this is my son whom I have chosen and I am well pleased. Well pleased is like really, really like you are highly favored and blessed and amazing. You know, God says that about us as well, because we are God's child and He loves us just as much as He loved His son Jesus. And what an incredible reminder for us that we will hear God's voice if we listen. Well, hey, until next time, have a great week. I'm really bummed because I love getting to learn about how God speaks to us in each and different ways. But hey, it is coming to an end. But don't worry, next week we'll be back with an incredible lesson, just how Jesus started His ministry. So have a great week and have a great month, and we'll see you soon. Take care.